It seems as though LeBron James has been dominating the game of basketball ever since he stepped onto an NBA floor. As fans, we wondered, could Father Time really catch up as he approached his 20th season? But when the season started and as it progressed, many of us concluded how wrong our assumptions were. LeBron, although not the best player in the league, still seemed to be a top 5 player on some occasions, or even most. Averaging 29 points per game in his 20th season and also breaking the scoring record is enough evidence to put LeBron as a top tier scorer. At the old age of 38, he still has that bounce to throw down these ferocious dunks. Like, these young cats are still scared of an old man trying to dunk on them. So LeBron, safe to say, still has it. Enough to put fear into these young bloods. This season, he got a lot of dunks and baskets in transition, as he ranked second in transition points per game at 8. Lots of his signature throwdowns come when he's playing the passing lanes and gain those breakaway steals into an easy 2 points. Braun has always been athletic enough to jump the gap and has the IQ to see the openings and rotations to get these steals. For example, right here, he sees that 2 men are helping on Smart's drive, so he anticipates the pass to the open Brown as Smart is turning around to swing the ball. So LeBron happily turns this into a highlight play. I would like to think that LeBron is very good at anticipating passes because he's played the game so long that as you play more, you can pick up on tendencies on when the pass is going to be thrown. But we also know this dude studies film like a madman and knows teams' plays and player movements sometimes more than they know themselves. And this is just a testament to his IQ because playing the passing lanes also includes a knowledge of rotations and where to be on the floor. And I know it looks easy, but reading Ja's eyes to throw a full court pass and snatch it out the air like he's Odell and take it coast to coast is still impressive. Like right here, LeBron is tasked with guarding the corner, and when LaMelo comes off the double ball screen that gets botched by spacing, the lane is clogged, leaving him to dribble around and has Braun able to roam and read his eyes into a transition 2. Another way he gets these quote-unquote easy buckets is he actually runs in transition. Lots of players on all levels are too lazy to run down the court after going through possession after possession of fatigue. An easy way to increase your scoring average is doing what he's doing by just running in transition and filling the lanes properly with spacing. Because you're bound to be open and your teammates will find you like LeBron's. You'd think he's too old to sprint down the court and he wants to save energy, but running the court gives the offense more options to score and more advantages. For example, right here, LeBron starts at the baseline where everyone is bunched together. As soon as he sees the rebound secured, he's out running before the outlet pass hits. Then before we know it, he's gone into a lob dunk. Again, right here, as soon as the ball is secured, he's gone running while everyone else is jogging, creating a 3-on-1 fast break and an easy bucket. Ultimately, by running in transition, this gives LeBron easy chances for points and other opportunities for his teammates. And don't forget, highlight plays come out of this as well. But this impressive transition game is capped out by a signature one-man fast break. Like, the man had a 2K badge named after him called LeBron Coast to Coast. Like, it's crazy. He can still just take a rebound or outlet pass and just muscle and power his way to a bucket. Like right here, he grabs the rebound and casually dribbles up with no one stopping the ball. Wiggins tries, but it's too late and backs up, leaving LeBron going up strong against Draymond to get the and one. Or he could just bring it up by himself. With the defense basically set, he can still use his strength to power for an easy deuce. Now LeBron has been known for his insane inside game, being a fearless finisher and an absolute freight train. Of course, this past season, he wasn't at his prime, but he still is a top tier finisher in the league, using his 6'9", 250-pound frame to his advantage to finish strong in the paint. He can still use his speed to get a step on defenders to finish strong at the rack with a ferocious dunk or a hanging layup. It takes strength to be able to continue to absorb hits after so many years and still have the focus to finish the bucket. For example, he gets a step going downhill and hangs in midair over 3 defenders, absorbing contact to get the bucket and end one. The body control and focus is insane for a dude playing his 20th season. He can also rock PG to sleep with slow between the leg dribbles and explodes out with his back foot into a tough same foot same hand finish. And personally, my favorite, where he gets past Dylan Brooks and powers through by initiating contact with his shoulder to get the and one, showing what happens when you poke that bear. And this strength comes in handy when he uses it to post up to preserve energy and easily get to the basket and finish. Again, he uses his strength and size to back down most players and use pivots and pump fakes to finish. So most times LeBron can will his way to the post and score. Right here, he comes off the ball screen and starts his post-up close to the three-point line. He then spins off using his arm and leg to see off his man into a nice reverse layup. Or, right here, from around the three-point line again, starts his post-up, then using his shoulder and base to move Wiggins out the way, and finally gets lower to explode onto a tough layup. But sometimes, pure force can't always win, and you gotta have a little sauce or finesse. Some of these lays got that jelly in English, beautifully spinning the ball into the rim. LeBron also has creativity with his finishes because he can't always overpower people in the post. Spinning reverses, hooks, cool fakes, you name it, he's got it. For example, right here, he goes off the right foot going to the left into a fading short layup off glass over two defenders. Or here he has a nice reverse with the right hand on the left side, adding a little spin in English, or young kids call it jelly nowadays. Again, here, he uses pace to slow down into his dribble off the ball screen into a vintage hook shot. And my favorite, he hit Christian Wood with the old man fake, looking up to the rim and faking the gather. That gets him in the air and allows Bron to finish a reverse layup. So about LeBron being crafty, he loves to use his signature spin move going to the rim. I noticed it's one of his go-to counter moves and great in transition, no matter if some of y'all think it's a travel. Like right here, he picks up speed and adds a slight gather hezzy, acting like he's going to the left, but takes a dribble and spins off into a nice lay. Or right here, he drives to the right, and as his defender tries to anticipate his movement, he spins right off of him for a clutch bucket. Off the ball, LeBron doesn't really move like someone like Curry, but he's a great cutter. A lot of his baskets come when he sees open space so his teammates can dime him up, or he catches his defender overplaying. Either way, it brings us back to his basketball IQ. He just knows when to cut and where to move so his teammates can give him a good pass to finish. For example, right here, he sees his defender looking at the ball, slightly overplaying him, allowing for a backdoor cut, using his arms to get that extra speed into a dunk. Or, right here, he sees his man tag into the paint to prevent the roll man, and LeBron could have just stayed in the corner for a three, but he sees open space to cut for a lob that's a way higher percentage shot. This happens again here when Wiggins loses track of him and is worried about AD rolling or getting a pass, and LeBron sees an open lane to take off for a highlight play. Lots of these cuts show that he isn't willing to settle. He could have just stayed on the perimeter and got an open three or play off the catch, but recognizing the open lane for an easier opportunity is what a lot of players can learn, instead of just staying stagnant. And with him playing off ball, he can be used as a screener and is a good roller to the basket. For example, he does a ghost screen, not making contact, almost slipping to the basket as he gets the short roll and drives into a finish. Or right here, he actually makes contact and rolls off nicely into a nice layup. Now LeBron early in his career was a suspect jump shooter and was a weakness of his until later he had developed into a respectable and some years proficient shooter. This past season, he wasn't a particularly deadly shooter. His mid-range shooting percentage was a disappointing 36%, but still respectable enough to knock down an open jumper. He still has those pull-up mid-range jumpers in his bag, drifting to either side, and that signature baseline fade where he dribbles across the baseline that he only did for 2 games, but this still shows his impressive shot-making ability. Like for instance, he gets into a tough step back jumper off one leg that he stays on balance throughout. And don't forget his signature LeBron fadeaway that broke a franchise in 2018, aka LeBronto, and is still useful today, hitting these tough fall-away shots with real high arc. For instance, he takes a dribble to gather, hopping, then pivoting off his right foot, elevates into a turnaround jumper. And the iconic shot that broke the scoring record, using his right foot to create a little separation, to step and fade back into a historic shot. Bringing it back to his three, he shot a disappointing 32%, and in the playoffs, it seemed like he couldn't get a shot to fall. But with this in mind, teams shouldn't just treat him like someone who's a certified bricklayer. He can hit them down in timely situations, like for instance, he gets into a right-left pull-up three to tie the game up with about 2 minutes ago. LeBron is also a decent catch-and-shoot player. Like in these clips, we see him lift up into space and beautifully hop into his jumper on balance. He's also increased his range and likes to do his signature long ball when he's feeling a heat check, looking down the ball and bringing the ball towards his right side into a shot. We all know one of LeBron's greatest skills is his passing and his ability to get his teammates involved. He's always been known for making the right basketball play instead of having that killer instinct people claim he doesn't have. But to silence the haters, his passing is what makes him such a complete player. And all this again comes back to his high basketball IQ. For instance, he uses his size to back down Curry in the zone. He knows that the opposite skip pass is going to be open. He then makes an impressive over-the-head jump pass on target for the open three-pointer. Or right here, he makes an impressive move to get Zion in the air, then knows that Westbrook is going to be open, and jumps the pass, using the elevation to make the pass a lot easier, faster, and on target. Contrary to popular belief, jumping a pass is good only if you know where you're going. LeBron knows when and where the defense will shift, allowing him to use that jump to hit his target faster and more accurately. Last year, he was still making crazy reads with impressive skip passes, jumping passes, and no looks. He still has that point guard feel for the game, and his height and strength allow him to make plays that most can't. I think these two plays sum up LeBron's mentality about playmaking. Late in the game, clutch moment, uses his driving ability to create an open shot for the dagger. Or right here, he uses his gravity again, making the jump pass to the corner for the go-ahead three in the clutch. His defense was surprising this year. He wasn't Defensive Player of the Year level as he was 10 years ago, but LeBron didn't seem to have those viral moments where his effort was subpar. Like any defender, he was in the right spots and made plays when needed. Bringing it back to his transition game, he can still anticipate passes and read people like a hawk. The great reaction time to explode through the passing lane is still one of his signature plays. But he can also swipe down on the ball when players are trying to back him down or coming into the lane. Like for instance, he contains Jokic on the drive and is able to strip him before he goes up. And same thing here when John Collins is about to turn around for a jump hook, he swipes on his hand and gets the strip. But both these skills are made through just playing more games and learning movements and even studying your opponent. But it seems LeBron hasn't lost a big step. And this brings us to the signature
turnover. Tillman off the dribble, gets it in, blocked by James.
Every so often, you see LeBron come up with a chase down block, hustling back to recover, and using his timing and gifted athleticism to make a play. It's crazy to think that a guy in his 20th season was willing to try and smack a shot into the third row after being beat. And it seems in the playoffs, this is where I notice his effort rise at his old age. For instance, here, he jumps to time the block right when the ball is at its apex. Or he gets back in transition with a 3-on-2 and denies Bane, showing him this is not his house. And it's always nice when LeBron comes and blocks a shot from Curry when he comes from the help side to swat the shot. Or my favorite, when he switches onto Curry after getting beat, then recovers to get the block. His physicality on defense showed up when the team needed it most. Like here, he's on Jokic, and he makes sure to deter the pass from entering the post by fronting him and being physical, using his forearm and base to move him. And continues this when they reverse the ball and even try a second post entry. And he finally boxes him out when the shot goes up, showing a great defensive effort. And this physicality leads him to put his body on the line, especially in big moments to help his team win. Taking charges takes timing and guts to absorb contact and have someone run into you full speed. But in last year's season and in the playoffs, LeBron had that hunger to win. Ultimately, LeBron's dominance throughout the years has been amazing to watch, and his historic 20th season is nothing short of that. It wasn't perfect or one of the best seasons he's had, but it's up there due to him being older. His scoring was on display, breaking the record while almost averaging 30 a game. The playmaking was still there, and defense was surprisingly impressive in big moments. But this is how LeBron achieved a monumental 20th season, and hopefully we can see this for a couple more years and appreciate it while we have it. Thanks for watching.